Hello guys, Deju22 here, and we have another debut, and that is, well, first we had Wolfbane, who was in the previous match, but now we have someone that, in a very relatively short time, has grown on me, so much so that I signed this person to a contract, as well as his partner, and you'll see who his partner is later on, when the time is right. Well, before we do that, let's introduce his opponent for tonight, and he could not have drawn a very tough opponent, and that is the current reigning champion of Europe, the European champion, my boy, Jason RPG. And he's held that title for quite a while, although to be fair, I mean, we've had some delays, and in large part because, you know, the company only moves as quickly as the person that runs it, but what can I say? But nonetheless, though, he has definitely held on to it for quite a while, and he's definitely ready to go fisticuffs with this guy, and the guy he's going to be going up against is this man. Yes, I give you Kirito from Sword Art Online. Probably one of the more popular animes in probably the last 5-10 years. I mean, there's definitely others, but it's right up there. And this match is a submission match, and I gotta tell you, if Kirito is to beat Jason RPG, he should definitely be considered for a #1 contender spot, which we already have Jay Virtus and one individual that would have been there, but unfortunately was had left, and I'll tell you more about that later on, but that's if it happens. But with that said, let's get started right now. Match underway. So we have Jason RPG, who is very, very strong. In fact, very, very strong. And in fact, television does not begin to tell you how strong this guy is. But of course, Kirito is no slouch either. He's very strong himself. So it's just going to come down to who can execute. Although, I mean, Kirito, to be fair, has never been in a wrestling ring. But he's definitely been in a fight, and, well, we know that he's a prolific swordsman. We'll see how good he is without it. We'll see how good he is with just his bare fists, and we know how good Jason RPG is. I mean, and this is a guy that loves to play RPGs. So you would imagine him going up against an RPG-like player in a wrestling match. On one hand, it's a dream, but on another hand, it's kind of a nightmare to have, you know, to take on your hero and a spine buster onto Kirito. And of course, Kirito is one of the more popular anime boys, not just among the girls, but also among other guys too. I mean, he's right up there among some of the more popular anime guys, and again, if in case you're wondering, I'm trying to save my voice, especially for Survivor Series, which is coming up relatively soon. But in the meantime, Kirito He's just going to keep fighting. And a whip in the corner goes Jason. Although Jason, you know, recognizing that Kirito's not going to be an easy win, given Kirito's history in the anime. And a jawbreaker onto Kirito. And a running, what is it? A facebuster knee, that's what it's called. I almost forgot the name of it. And whipping the ropes. And a couple of knees right to the sternum of Kirito. And Kirito, he's got to do something because although Kirito is, again, prolific with the sword, but so far without one, yeah, he's been taking quite a beating by the champion. And of course, Jason RPG didn't become the champion for nothing. It's not like we just gave him a belt. He earned it. I mean, yeah, we gave him an opportunity, but he only had one, and he took advantage of it. And an elbow right to the back of the head of Kirito. And Jason, what's Jason doing? And come on, guys, I just fixed the table, man. Oh, what a punch by Kirito onto Jason RPG. Now both men are on the outside now, even though this is a submission match. These guys can still win/lose by countout, so they got to be careful here. And Jason exits the ring. And Kirito gets back in there as well. Alright, now both men are back in. But then Kirito gets sent over the top rope. Nice counter by Kirito. Ooh, nice uppercut onto Jason. But then whipped into the corner is Jason, and a jumping, what is it? A corner splash. I almost forgot the name of the move there. But then whipped into the corner is Kirito himself. And wow, nice move. A corner bulldog onto Kirito by Jason. And Jason is a fairly big guy. Well, big in terms of like his size and even his the size of his arms. I mean, he takes really good care of himself, most especially these days. Yeah, these guys are putting on a wrestling clinic here. Whipped into the corner. And wow! Nice spine buster onto Jason RPG. And a back suplex onto Kirito. Then whipped into the corner, or whipped into the ropes rather, excuse me. A European uppercut to the European. Then whipped into the corner again. Oh no, wait a minute. Countered into a facebuster on a Kirito, and now Kirito has been busted open. But of course, this is not the first time he's ever lost blood. But this could not have come at a worse time against somebody that is very good in the ring, and that is Jason RPG. Now whipped into the corner. Oh, now set up in a tree of woe. Have rented lips and a choke onto Kirito. And whipped into the ropes. Nope. Oh, nice counter by Kirito with that drop kick. Although I think that might have pissed him off. Oh, nice counter by Kirito. He went for a drop kick, but went to the well one time too many. And thrown over the top rope is Jason. And a suplex back inside the ring is Jason. And Jason, I'll tell you one thing, he better not take Kirito lightly, even though Kirito is the one that's in trouble. He cannot, he cannot get too cocky against him. And a suplex onto the floor onto Jason. I mean, that'll definitely take a lot of starch right out of him. And a DDT on the floor to Jason. And a super facebuster on the floor to Jason again. I mean, Jason is taking a lot of headshots and a lot of shots on the floor. He cannot take that kind of punishment and expect to win. And thrown into the corner is Kirito. And again, set up in a tree of woe. And another choke onto Kirito. Of course, this match is a non-title match, so there's no championship on the line, but if Kirito was to somehow win against Jason RPG, he would definitely be in the #1 contendership. I mean, we already have Jay Virtus, who is the #1 contender, along with one other person who was going to be the #1 contender, but left the company before it could be settled. And a running knee onto Jason RPG. That rhymed. Excuse me. That rhymed, but... Uh-oh, wait a minute. Now he's going for the crossface onto Kirito. And Kirito has no choice but to tap out against the champion. And again, the championship was not on the line, but Jason had to win in order to make sure that thus far it remains a one-on-one match with Jay Virtus, but then again, it was going to still be a triple threat match no matter what. And we do have another match coming up that will determine a third participant and possibly a fourth, and you'll know what I mean in just a moment. But for now, Jason RPG is victorious against Sword Art Online's Kirito in a submission match. And Kirito gave it a great effort, but against an experienced champion, it was just too much. And we'll see Jason RPG at the Survivor Series. Who else will be there with him? Find out right after this.